My name is Colton, and you're watching the Late Shift Sports Show.
Nice. Welcome, Colton. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, I'm not too bad. How are you doing?
Good. How's your off season going on so far?
Can't complain, can't complain. Just working away.
Yeah. So the first thing we do
Yeah.
on this podcast, for those that are listening, is we always ask these guys what their favorite hockey team is. So who's yours?
I gotta go with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's sad to say it, but they've had a tough season, and a tough Stanley Cup. But you got to stick with them, and hopefully one year we can pull one Stanley Cup in.
What's going on with them?
I don't know. I think our defensive end there isn't strong, and I think our up front we're paying too much on one or too many guys.
Did you do you know about Harold Ballard? Do you know that guy?
I don't.
Okay, so there's a guy, and this is for people that are a little bit older. They would know more. But there's a guy named Harold Ballard, and he used to own the Toronto Maple Leafs. And from what I understand, is he wasn't a very nice owner. So like if I came in wearing my Montreal Canadiens jersey, security would come and tell me to take it off. He would not like some of those things, but they never won a Stanley Cup, and apparently he did things that a lot of fans did not agree with. Well, he passed away, and anyways, the joke is that the reason why the Toronto Maple Leafs haven't won a Stanley Cup is because the place is cursed by the soul of Harold Ballard.
Harold Ballard.
That's
Wow.
if you actually go up and read up on this guy, I watched a whole documentary on it and no idea who the guy was. And I was like, wow, like you definitely learn a lot, right? So we
Yeah,
got
for sure.
Henderson, played hockey for Listowel Cyclones for 2 seasons. He started off playing AAA for the Waterloo Wolves, and then from there on, he moved up and went to St. Mary's, played for St. Mary's Lincolns, played for the Chatham Maroons, and also played for the Listowel Cyclones. So let's get into it. So what got you into hockey, and who inspired you to play the sport?
Yeah, I think I got into it at 3 years old, and my parents, just put me in skates and put me in some skating, and just getting into the minor hockey system here in my hometown, Wellesley. I was getting through there, so that's how I started, and yeah, kind of just kept playing the game ever since. Loved it, and couldn't take my skates off, or not have a stick in my hand since the day I've kind of had it, uh, you know, put to me.
And you have an older brother,
I
right?
do, yes, or a
In,
younger brother.
sorry, a
Yeah,
younger. He's the one that plays
yeah.
in Europe up north.
Yes, he plays for the Sudbury Wolves in the OHL
So
there. Yeah.
So junior hockey obviously runs in the blood of you guys there.
hmm
So was there any competition growing up between you two guys on roughing it up? Were you the one, the older brother, taking him down all the time, things like that?
100%. Yeah, 100%. There's definitely some of that for sure. Mini sticks in the basement definitely got a little rough. The walls were a little damaged, but no, it was good competition. We both pushed each other to be better. Even in the driveway too, when we were shooting pucks. We were both out there. We would, give each other tips, and I think it kind of helped both of us in a way. But yeah, he's succeeding right now. He's got his season's over, but he's got a big summer upcoming and it's to stay in the gym, and hopefully the best for him in the NHL draft coming up.
That's pretty cool. And your style of play, when you grow up there, obviously being a Canadian boy, I think all of us have grown up putting a pair of skates on. I think there's a photo of me with my dad at the arena before I could walk, and he was teaching me how to skate and stuff, right? Um,
100%.
what was that like for you having a younger brother? Was there like did your style of play in hockey go build around that of having a younger brother to help you guys compete? Because like I don't know what the age difference between you guys are is.
Yeah, we're just a year apart, so there's
Okay.
definitely some competition for sure. We always kind of, we always kind of looked up to each other. Even though I was the older brother, I still looked up to him. I got a lot of tips from him. He got a lot of tips from me. There's just that type of stuff. Dad was always there too. He was always telling us, after games how it should be. Um, Typical dad. So,
Yep.
yeah, so that's a typical sports dad. But yeah, no, me and my brother, we always kind of had a great relationship. We've always kind of taught each other uh, things, things that we should work on, like face-offs, skating, all that kind of stuff. My brother's a really good skater. Um, I think, teaching me my skating, that kind of stuff. And then, just, I think I'm a pretty offensive guy. And he's more of a defensive guy too. So, I mean, we're two different people on the ice. I think that, we kind of just, when we watch each other's games, we kind of get a bit of, I guess we get a bit of, how to, do that kind of stuff when we watch each other for sure.
And what about watching the sport itself? What about any players that you looked up growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I look at a lot of players for sure, but I mean, you got to look at the best player in the world, Connor McDavid. I mean, there's not much there. I mean, you watch him, you just watch his speed, you just watch all of it, his hands, all that kind of stuff. His head's up all the time. I mean, I can't really compare myself to him because he's one of the best, but definitely looked up to him. Tried to take some notes on watching him and what he kind of does in situations, and then when I get in those situations, kind of try to repeat it the same way. But obviously, I'm not going to repeat it as like an NHL player would. But watching Connor, he's a great player. He skates well and he moves the puck. He's got his head up all the time. He can shoot the puck. He can pass. I mean, I think all those abilities, I can take in and then just kind of build off of.
It's funny that you say that because I've interviewed a bunch of different generations of hockey, and the guys that I looked up with played in the '90s, and their favorite player was the Flower Guy Lafleur, or you know
Yeah,
yeah,
all the older guys.
when I was watching hockey, everybody wanted to be like Wayne Gretzky, right?
Oh, for sure.
And then you got Sidney Crosby comes in and Ovechkin comes in and those guys, they come in and then that new generation follows those guys and now Connor McDavid and it's always interesting to see the difference in who everybody grows up watching and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So then you got into playing, obviously for AAA hockey
hmm
throughout years, U14, U16, U18. You had 33 points regular season, 14 points in 10 playoff games. Obviously a clutch performer right there that you are. So tell me about, before we get into junior hockey, what was that like for you going to play AAA hockey? Was it a natural progression for you, or were you one of the players that, took a little bit to get used to? Or tell me about that.
Yeah, and I think coming out of my hometown here, I mean, we had a great team. We had four players that were just, or not four players. I mean, we had a whole team that was absolutely unreal. I mean, we only had about five losses all year, so I mean, we had a great team, and just kind of being able to play a bunch of games kind of helped me, and I guess helped the rest of my teammates just get better. So I think making the jump was it was pretty easy, but I mean, I think my first couple of years, I got a coach that just wasn't seeing eye to eye with me, and I wasn't you know, performing the way I should or playing the way I should. But I mean, I kind of just stuck with it. And as I got older, I mean, I had some coaches that loved me and put a lot of trust in me, and that was that built up my confidence for sure. So that's why I was able to do what I could do in the AAA there when I was young for sure. And then as soon as I got up to U16, I had Sean Dietrich as my coach, and yeah, he put A on my jersey. He put a lot of trust in me, a lot of faith to go out there and just do what I needed to do. I had a pretty tough OHL Cup, which sucks. I mean, everyone goes to the OHL Cup there, and especially all the scouts are watching it. So, I mean, it was tough that I had a tough OHL Cup because I mean I had a great season, and then going to the OHL Cup and not producing the way I should just wasn't helping my draft stock. So I wasn't really able to get drafted there in the U16. But then my U18 year, I just kind of come back with a little bit of firepower, a little bit of a bite. I had a great season. I mean, the playoffs. I mean, I just kind of was like, obviously, still had that firepower. I got absolutely I was a little mad about it. So I mean, I turned it up in playoffs. Obviously, like you said, there 14 points in 10 games. So I did what I needed to do, and I was able to get drafted by the London Knights. So I mean, that's pretty cool. And I mean, one of the top CHL teams in the league. But I mean, it's tough to crack that squad, and I'm just honored to be able to be drafted by those guys.
And it's funny that you say that because junior hockey, people always say that the Stanley Cup is very hard to win, but winning a cup in any junior hockey league, whether it's OHL or even the Sutherland Cup in the GOHL, like that's one of the hardest things to do as a player, let alone, somebody that is in a team for 15 years or whatever, right? So,
For sure.
just to get drafted by the London Knights, that must be pretty cool, My biggest
Yeah.
rival, I'm a Kitchener Rangers fan, but I love
Yeah.
junior hockey. So for me, it's funny. My aunt and uncle live in London, and they're always
Yeah.
asking me, "Oh, you got London Knights and Kitchener Rangers going and stuff, right?" So that's
Yeah.
so you. So what was your biggest thing that you learned? Was it physicality, or was it more finesse hockey compared to before you started getting into the GOHL, or what was your biggest thing you learned from that? Obviously you're young, under 18, 16. You're still living at home. You're a high school kid. What did you learn from that?
Yeah, I think I learned a lot of stuff. I think I learned that, you can't be scared to go out and play. I mean, you just got to go out there and just play your game. Show what you're capable of. I think when I went to that camp in London there, I was a little scared. I think I went in there thinking that it was going to be U18 hockey and that was it. And I just got a whole new level of like an eye opener, and it wasn't anywhere close to what it was. So I think that my takeaways from that, what I tell people now that are going into OHL camps, are just like, take look at it. I mean, it's a great opportunity for you, but you know it's a whole different level. So you got to make sure you're going in with high expectations to go in there and kind of push yourself to do a little more than what you probably do in the U18 or junior level.
And um, going when you started going up to the GOHL, or formerly called the GOJHL, it was St. Mary's you started with, right? Is that correct, or is it
Yep. Yeah, no, I
St.
started in St. Mary's. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously, Perth County, Wellesley, they're not far from each other.
Hmm.
Well, and going back to just what you said, which it ties into, I think, every player that I've talked to. Some coaches can make a really big make or break for a player. Depends on how well you get along with it. I've heard guys, some guys are really too old school for me, or some guys love the old school mentality, right? And you hear it in the NHL all the time. Like, some coaches they really get along. Like I think Paul Maurice is a fantastic coach in the NHL. I think he does a really good job with the players. You could
For
tell he's
sure.
really well respected and all that stuff. There's a guy that I followed a lot, and his name was Gary Unger. He played in the NHL, and he coached in the Tulsa Oilers in the Central Hockey League, which is now the ECHL. I mean, you hear a lot of good stories about these guys. And, Sean Dietrich, he coached you in the not only
Yep.
U18, but he also coached you in the Listowel Cyclones there
Hmm.
as the assistant, right? But we'll get back to that in a minute here. So you went to St. Mary's. First time, I guess you were in a billet house, so that was your first time being away from home. What
Yeah.
was that like? Were you nervous, or were you kind of like, I don't know if this is cut out for me, or what?
Well, it's funny. I mean, it was actually my first billet house was my aunt. So I mean,
Oh,
moving in
fair
with my
enough.
moving in with my aunt was pretty easy. I mean, I obviously I went to school there, so I mean the transition to school was a little different, but I mean the moving into the house was fine. I mean, she fed me well. She had all the snacks she provided, so it was a fun time for sure. But I mean, when I got asked to get traded there to Chatham, and I kind of had to make a tough decision on whether I was doing that or not. I would definitely was a little nervous. I mean, definitely the billet part scared me. I mean, you go to Chatham nowadays and you look at it and it's like, well, Chatham's a pretty rough town. So, I mean, you're not gonna. So I looked at it like that, and I mean, you just don't know what kind of billets you're gonna get, right? So, I stepped in to my billet house there, and they were nothing but great to me in Chatham. She was awesome. She had every meal cooked for me there, and gave me a place to stay, and she was great.
I think the Bills just love that, having players that come in and they could come see you, and you're like, you get become part of the family and stuff. So your
Hmm.
playing in the 2023-2024 season in the GOHL. You move up from U18 AAA hockey. You're one level now away, or now it's called the Official Development League for the OHL. What
Mhm.
did you learn from your first year, even as a player? Like, let's get into that. Going from, you don't hear a lot of these trades going in, and I think it's a great learning curve to get traded and to really understand the almost the behind the scenes look of what hockey is. You get traded, you're with one team, you don't know if you're going to be going to another place. So what is that like for you? First of all, let's go into the type of the game. GOHL from AAA hockey. What was that like for you going to that one next level up?
Yeah, I kind of got a taste of it, from the London camp, but it was just a whole new level of the game. My first couple of games, I felt like I stepped in really, really nice. Um, Thought I was playing really, really well. I was put on the fourth line, like most most guys that come into the league as a newcomer. So I stepped in and kind of just you know did kind of played a role. It's a different role than what I've been used to. So
Yep.
that part is tough. Um, but to make that jump, I felt like my like speed and keeping up with the pace, getting playing the game was just was there. I think it was just a matter of time that the production was going to come.
And when did you realize that junior hockey wasn't going to be easy at all? Like, was it the first season or was it the first game or?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, when I got traded, it was probably, this isn't going to be easy. Like, this isn't going to be, you end up on one team and it's going to be, the rest of your junior career.
Yeah.
I got traded and I was like, well, this is the reality of hockey and this is the business side of it, right? So, no, yeah, I think I was, just yeah, ready to kind of switch and get a change, get a new coach, and kind of see how things went, and maybe kind of get some new opportunity.
And the physicality or the grittiness of it, what was that like for you? Obviously, from what I've seen you play at the games and stuff, you're obviously a first and second line type of player now, but what was that like for you for the first season of just getting that gritty role, or were you going out there and just trying to make big hits, or the game has changed so much when I played. Back then, I think now if you put you guys on the ice versus us, your skating ability is 10 times better than what ours was, right? So what is that like for you?
Yeah, I think. Well, like I said, it's a different role than what I've been used to. So I think I wasn't really a big hitter. I never really liked to run around and hit guys, and I never played that type of game.
Yep.
But when I stepped in there for St. Mary's and got that fourth line role, I kind of knew I needed to change it. So I kind of my first couple of games, I definitely running around throwing some physical body, um, trying to lay some hits. Um, but yeah, I think the physicality part of it when I was first joined the league, I definitely was a little scared of it for sure. There's older, you're against guys that are 4 years older than you, and you're taking hits from them, right? So I think that part of it was just a little scary that I had to be the guy that to go around and hit those guys. So that part was kind of scary, but at the end of the day, it was what it was, and if it got me in the lineup, then I would have done whatever it takes.
And I'm assuming you know a lot of the guys that you played against because you guys all probably grew up with each other playing against, in U18 other teams and stuff, right? Is that quite how it goes? Is it like GOHL might be a bunch of teams across Southern Ontario, but you guys all pretty much know each other? Might be one person drafted here or there, the odd guy that you know from team to team, right?
Yeah, yeah. I've played against most of these guys in minor hockey,
Yep.
or even played with them in like in a summer tournament, or even on a GOHL team. So like
Yep.
I played in St. Mary's and I played in Chatham, and I know most of those guys there. So yeah, I think there's a lot of people around the league that are we kind of keep in touch and know, and when it comes to the ice, we kind of become friends before the game and warm ups there. But then, when the game starts, it's kind of, enemies.
And you kind of know their style of play too, right? Like whether they're
Hmm.
on your line or you're playing against them, you kind of understand how they play. It's funny. There's a guy that I listened to, and he was saying that grew up playing hockey in the state. He's an American guy, and he grew up playing hockey in the States. And he played, I think it was college or high school or whatever. I forget what it was. And he says those Canadian guys, I tell you, they're like 10 times in a different level than what we are, And was
Yeah.
always like, I don't know if those the way they feed those guys, but they're just in a different level than what we play, right?
No, but
Yeah. Um,
sure.
then you went to Listowel Cyclones, another local area that you know. Um,
Hmm.
your first season, 2024, 2025, in 45 or in 50 games, you put up 45 points. Um,
Hmm.
comfortable. I'm assuming you're very comfortable being with the team, playing the way that they are. To do something like that, you're almost putting up a point a game, right? Whether it's a goal or an
Hmm.
assist or whatever.
Yep.
Um, that was your breakout year. So
Hmm.
what changed? What was the difference in you go from St. Mary's to Chatham Maroons or whatever, and sometimes it could be just the smallest things, right? So what was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that changed. I mean, just obviously, coming home and being at home was probably a big change. I mean, I didn't mind moving away. Like, St.
Yep.
Mary's was fine with me, but I think, Listowel and being able to come home and see my parents every night was definitely helpful. But yeah, I think the biggest thing was the coaching aspect. I think Jesse Cole runs a great style and runs a great program in Listowel there. When I stepped in, I we had a good team. Um, so I was kind of running the fourth line there for a bit at the start, and then we had some guys that decided to leave us, and then I kind of got my opportunity, and then kind of when he told me that I'm kind of getting this opportunity, that's kind of when I just was like, well, I guess I got to make the most of it. So I stepped up and try to do as much as I could to help the team, and yeah, I think did a pretty good job at stepping in and playing a good role.
And you're very comfortable once you get into that third year. you know
Yeah, for sure.
what was right. You're more comfortable now. You understand the way it's been played.
Hmm.
You know a lot of the guys that you come into. You're not really nervous. You know who the guys are, your line mates and the coach and all that stuff, right? So once you get
Yep.
settled in, I feel like the first year is tough, but once you get settled in, you kind of really know who the players are and how you develop as a player, right?
Yep.
Um, so. So, was there anything stand out to you for your first couple of years in the GOHL that really, was it you look at hockey from 20 years ago, and hockey from 20 years ago was two-line passing, it was more of a physical game. It was not as, I would say like not I've heard the word where you have such an open ice now, and the game's much more faster than it was. Do you ever
Yep.
go back and see the old videos and compare it to how you guys are now and look at how different it is?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I mean, when I was a kid, I definitely go on YouTube all the time and look at the old videos there. But I think most of those old videos, I mean, you were seeing big hits, you were seeing fights, you were seeing all that kind of stuff, all the kind of like the gritty style of play. I
Yep.
think nowadays, people just aren't willing to do that. So I think that, I mean, you're seeing a more skillful kind
Yep.
of play. I mean, when you look at people nowadays, they like the skill and they like the goals and all the pretty stuff there. So I think yeah, it definitely has changed for sure. But yeah, I think nowadays um, playing in the GOHL, I think there's a lot more skill guys than rough guys. Whereas like guys are just coming out to fight. I think more people are just trying to show off their skill and kind of be able to move up to that next level, after, showing their skill and being able to produce.
And it's not really worth it nowadays because the suspensions are a lot more stiffer than they were back then too, right? I mean, like, they're
100%.
hockey. You don't want to get into a fight, and the next thing you know, you're out for 5 games, and there goes, you just missed like a third or a fifth of your season, right? Just because
Yeah,
of a 2 minute fight, right? And I think
but
nowadays you look at the way the kids play. Some of the kids don't want to go out there and fight anymore.
no.
It gets roughed up and stuff, but nobody's
Hmm.
nobody's there to kill each other or anything like that, right?
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah,
definitely a lot different.
for sure. The suspension part of it is definitely a big key factor into the reason why I definitely don't do it. Because I definitely don't like missing games and sitting out in the stands and watching my teammates play. But I definitely would want to get in one quite soon for sure. I mean, I definitely would love to, but I was hoping maybe at the end of the season there I was going to get into one, but no, yeah, the suspension part is definitely a reason why people stay out of that kind of stuff now.
And you say the suspension part and stuff. Um, the back then, if we get into fighting, not I don't know what it was for GOHL or GOHL at the time, but back in the day, if you watched a good CHL, it was two guys would get into a fight. There was a line brawl you had going on. You
Oh
knew the
yeah,
guys that were coming out. There's a guy that I would love to have on my podcast. His name is Dallas Anderson. He was at like 6'5", 6'6" without skates. And I remember just looking up to this guy like I was a small guy, and every game the guy could skate. Like he went out and tried out for, I think it was the Edmonton Oilers or whatever, and he got a really bad injury. But man, oh man, not only could he skate, but if you try to drop a glove with that guy, you could never get the reach on him because he was like that much taller than you, right? And it's
yeah.
the difference of hockey is different too, right? In the '90s versus in today's
Hmm.
world that we see now. I listened to
Yeah,
another, I think you're a basketball guy from what I understand, and you're a huge
yeah,
basketball guy, right? And I was
yep,
listening to, I don't know if you know the guy named Dennis Rodman. Do you
yep,
know?
no doubt, yep, yep.
And he was like, "Yeah, if I was out there in today's world, the guys in today could never go against me and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen because we would be going out there and we could put up all these points and stuff, right?" I'm very curious to know, like, how,
Um,
like, it's amazing. Like, every sport has changed so much, and it's only been 20-25 years, right?
for sure, yeah. I
Um,
mean,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, Dennis Rodman and those guys. I think that Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman and Scottie Pippen or yeah, Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think those guys. I mean, from watching the documentary, I think the Last Dance there. I think definitely think that they could probably put up a good fight against some of the all stars nowadays. I would think. Michael Jordan. I think is probably the best basketball player in the world. From what I think. People like to have other comments on that. I mean, LeBron James is up there for sure. He's good. I just don't think he's as good enough as Michael Jordan. I think the championships and clutch shots and all that kind of stuff. I think he beats him out on that.
It is, and when I was a kid, I was lucky because I always watched basketball. I mean, I didn't grow up watching basketball, but I definitely put it on, and everybody had their, night. I don't know why, but for some reason, '90s, like late '90s, early 2000s, peaked in sport for every single level. Whether it's hockey, you had Wayne Gretzky, you had, the Chicago Bulls, and those guys. You had Tiger Woods and Schumacher and Formula One. Like everything just seemed, I don't know why, it just seemed everybody was peaking at that time, and you had big
Hmm.
names and stuff. But when I was a kid, I tell you, I watching coming home, and everybody wanted to have a Chicago Bulls jersey on, and everybody wanted to be the next Michael Jordan, and
Yeah,
those guys, and you had to have your old school music playing, and Super Nintendo, the little cartridges. I remember everybody had to get the NBA game and stuff, right? So that's pretty,
for
pretty
sure.
cool.
I think the kids nowadays, right? Like the young kids, they grow up watching LeBron James, right? Like they never were able to watch Michael Jordan play.
Yeah.
Whereas like you watch LeBron James play and you're like, wow, this guy is amazing. And then you just start saying that, oh, he's a lot better than Michael Jordan, even though you've never seen Michael Jordan play.
It's a different era too. I
Yeah,
mean,
for
like you could
sure.
say Wayne Gretzky was good in his era, but it was also there was two line passing, right?
100%.
So like
Yeah, and
like the open plays that you did now, and sure, I'm not
yep,
saying anything's wrong with Wayne Gretzky. I still think he's one of the greatest hockey players in the world,
for
right?
sure.
But you look at Ovechkin, right? Like he's really good, in
Hmm.
this era. Him
Yeah.
and Crosby and like you said, Connor McDavid and
Yeah.
uh, those guys that are all coming up and stuff.
Yep.
You're going back to your career there. So you played another season with us for Listowel Cyclones this year again.
Hmm.
You went out for a little bit. You went out to play in the Central Canadian Hockey League, the CCHL, for Hawkesbury, which is by
Yep.
Ottawa for those that don't know. You played, what is it, 6 games or something like that, or 6 or 7 games?
I think it was about 10,
10,
10 or
10
11,
games.
yeah, 10 games.
What's the difference between the CCHL and the GOHL, in your opinion, as a player?
In my opinion, it definitely is just a lot faster. I mean, when I went there, um, the speed of the game was just so high. And even when my parents came and watched, they were like, "Man, that's fun hockey to watch. It's just so fast." I think that was the biggest um, difference that they could see. I mean, there's still a lot of skill in that league. There's great players that go to the QMJHL there.
Yep,
That's the Quebec League.
yep.
So there's a lot of good players that go there from the CCHL or go to D3 division hockey. But yeah, no, I think that league it's a great league and it's fast. But I think that was the definitely the biggest difference that I've noticed.
Is that where Trenton Golden Hawks play out of, CCHL too?
They're the OJHL, so it's a
Oh, yeah,
different
yeah.
league,
So
but
CC.
no, they're still the same junior A.
Oh, it's Junior A as well.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
both junior A. There's just two different leagues.
There's all these junior hockey. I can't keep up with
Yeah,
it. There's like
there's way too many leagues.
Alberta Junior Hockey, CHL. There's
Yeah,
so many of them right in Canada. It's almost like its own country. How many different.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of leagues.
So you played for Hawkesbury. You're obviously 5-6 hours away from home.
Yep.
You got homesick, or was it just you? Maybe it wasn't for you, or
Yeah, I think a little bit of homesick for sure. But I just think it wasn't a great. I mean, it was a great spot. I mean, I shouldn't say it wasn't a great spot. I mean, it was a great spot. I love
yeah,
my billets. My billet family was great. I enjoyed every minute that I was there. The town was a little sketchy, but I mean, it was a great place to kind of just go out and walk by the water and all that kind of stuff. So there's the bridge to Quebec there. We were right on the edge, so I was able to go across to Quebec and then be able to kind of just see that kind of stuff. So it was nice, but I think yeah, I think like I said, I mean, you find a coach that you just you're not happy with, and you kind of changes your mind about stuff. I mean, I played a lot. I think there was nothing against him for him playing me and giving me a lot of opportunity and all that kind of stuff. So I had a lot of opportunity. I had he had a lot of trust in me. That's why he brought me there. That's why I came from 6 hours away to live there and play there because I knew I was getting the opportunity, and he was putting trust in me. I think I got to a point where I was like, we didn't really have a lot of systems kind of stuff where it was kind of just we kind of went out and just played, and that part of me is just not what I've been used to or what I like to. Jesse obviously in Listowel has a big reputation on the system side of stuff.
with the
So I
technology side of things. Yeah,
Yes, yeah, 100%. So I think, that kind of was engraved in my brain from the year before. So I was going in there thinking, I'm gonna get the same exact, coaching thing where I'm gonna get all this video, I'm gonna get all these systems, and, I won't get, ripped on if, I make a mistake because I was doing the system correctly. But no, I went up there. I mean, we did video, we did all that kind of stuff. It was a great time. It's just, the systematic part I just, didn't like, and then a little bit of a homesick. So little bits of everything that just kind of just, made me kind of come home. And I mean, obviously our captain in Listowel here, Aiden Renault, he was kind of all over me too. He's texting me every day. So I think a little bit of that kind of helped out too.
A little bit of peer pressure, eh?
A little bit of peer pressure for sure. Yeah.
You're, but you like, like like it's not, it's very. I think a lot of people don't realize the mental side of hockey. Uh,
Hmm.
you go away, whether you're going 5 hours away or across the country. That's probably the
Yeah.
biggest toll that hockey players have on them is whether they could take it or not, or it's not for
Hmm.
everybody. I mean,
No.
I know even like my own sister, she's not one that would go across the country to live somewhere, right? Where I could do it with
Yeah.
feet, right? So
With ease. Yeah.
it's not for everybody, and coaching styles are totally different. You even look at in the junior hockey leagues, OHL, WHL, the Western Hockey League, the Quebec Major, Maritime, I guess it's called now.
Hmm.
Um, every coaching style is different, whether it's more simplistic or technicality. And
Hmm.
players learn to adapt, or they might not like it or whatever, right? It might not be for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
With racing
Yeah.
cars, cars are the same thing. You got to learn how to set up and adapt your car for racing and stuff.
Yep.
So you came back to Listowel. You played
Hmm.
your 37 games. You got 32 points. Um, Obviously, me being part of the team too, I kind of understand how happy everybody was that you were coming back to Listowel.
Yep.
All the fans were all excited and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Right? Um,
Yeah.
what was that like to step in that dressing room for the first time back and see everybody and
Yeah.
obviously a lot of new faces too, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
that were
Yep.
there, first timers, guys that came from different teams and stuff, right? What was that like to step back in and kind of be like, you're kind of walking in the dressing room like I feel like I'm back home or whatever,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it was great. I mean, a lot of new faces, like you said. So a lot of guys didn't really know who I was.
yep,
But it was great to meet all the guys, and I think the summer skates I was skating with them, so they kind of know who I was. They kind of got the like a
glimpse of you.
gist of who I was, so they kind of just when I walked in, they were like, "Oh, okay, like he's back." But I think Renaud there, he had a lot to say in the dressing room when I kind of told him I was coming back, so he kind of went around telling everybody. I mean, obviously, our equipment manager, Mark Kennedy, he found out, and then he was at church and he was telling my grandparents, and my grandparents didn't even know. So, so yeah, so they found out before I could even tell them. But yeah, no, I think the people were pretty happy that I was coming back. And it honestly feels great because, I was it was sad leaving. It was really tough decision for me to make, but I think it was the right decision at the time for me. But yeah, no, it was great to kind of feel the love from the town and or the sort of the city there, and obviously from the teammates and my coaching staff and kind of everybody in and around the Listowel Cyclones executive and all that kind of stuff. So it felt great. I mean, nothing to complain about. I mean, you're coming back to a winning caliber team and a nice dressing room. So I mean, yeah, it was great.
And Sean Dietrich, you said he coached you back in AAA. He coached you last year, or like the season that just before this season. So
Yep.
2024, 2025. What was that like to have Sean Dietrich back behind the bench as an assistant behind you?
Yeah.
He already knew obviously of the player of you, and it's probably
Mhm.
very comfortable for you to, come to Listowel and have him behind the bench, and you kind of already know one of the coaching guys anyways, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was great. I mean, he texted me. He was like, "Hey, you guys need like a coach," and I said, "Yeah, we're kind of looking for a coach." So, and then he never responded to me. So I was kind of like, "Oh, maybe maybe he's in the works or he's not interested in it." So I didn't know what to think. But yeah, no, it was great that to see him kind of come in and be an assistant coach. Obviously, it's a little different for him with not being the head coach. I mean, when he's the head coach, he tells it how it is. I mean, the assistant coach, he's kind of laid back.
Yep.
He kind of he still tells you how it is, but I mean, I think he's a little more laid back. Kind of let Jesse just kind of take control of everything, and then he was just kind of there to help guide whoever needed it and that kind of stuff if Jesse wasn't around.
And everybody has a role. I mean,
For
when
sure.
you go to assistant coaching or whatever, right? And then you finished obviously this year. and you got called to play in for Minto a few times for the playoffs. Now
Hmm.
there's all your guys that you know. I've seen a lot. I've seen the roster. O'Donnell's there with you. Renaud's
Yep.
there. Excuse me. Clayton's there. Your
Hmm.
head assistant coach, right? And then you got
Yep.
obviously Stevie there.
Yep.
Right.
Stevie. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
So you know a lot of the guys already,
yeah.
right? Probably pretty natural going from playing from Listowel because all the guys play junior hockey anyways, right? Like a lot of them
Yeah.
play Listowel or other
Played for.
junior hockey teams within the area,
Hmm.
right? So what's that
Yeah.
like from a senior double A? I guess is that double A hockey? Is that what they consider it, or is it just called
Or,
senior hockey?
I
I'm
don't
not sure.
know. Yeah, it's senior AAA or something.
Triple A.
Double. Yeah, I don't know. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
But.
you're playing now with guys that are a lot older, or
Hmm.
like that's a little more gritty. I've seen a lot of the videos from Seaforth and Minto and those guys. What's that like to play in now? You're playing senior hockey. You've kind of developed yourself, and you're definitely what type of player you are, right? So
Yeah.
what's it like?
Yeah. It was definitely different for sure. I mean, it was great though. The guys when I first got there so welcoming.
Yeah.
Obviously I knew a bunch of them already. I mean, Stevie Grant, he refs half our games, so
Yep.
I knew him from that. I mean, I definitely ripped into him a couple times on the ice. So I mean, definitely all jokes when I got in the room about, hey man, sorry about all that kind of stuff. But I'm a pretty emotional guy on the ice, so. But yeah, no, Clayton, we obviously know him. I mean, he's behind the bench for me. I mean, I see him pretty much every day, so that's pretty easy. But all the other guys, I mean, they played for Listowel, they played, and my cousin's there, right? So my second cousin, Chase Herford, he's there.
Oh yeah.
So he's pretty. It's pretty easy to kind of go in and meet all those guys. But yeah, no, the hockey thing, it's definitely a little different. I mean, there's like you said, there's a lot of older guys, big hitting boys for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
way different league. So definitely my first game, I was going in there a little scared. Definitely had my head up a little more often than what I would. But yeah, no, and definitely wasn't going in the corners when the puck was in there first, and I could still beat the guy to it. I let him
And
get the puck, and then I'll just get in there right after you.
And you've
But
got one more year. Is it one more season in junior? Is it like this year?
yeah,
Yeah. So you got one more season playing senior, going back to junior. That will probably help you develop a little bit more as a player now. Now that you got that kind of that two-way type of life, right? Or I don't say
for
life,
sure.
player,
Yeah,
right?
for sure. I mean, yeah, developing another year is going to be great for me. I mean,
Yep.
just getting some more ice and kind of getting the more hockey sense, and then being able to make that jump to senior. I mean, Minto has a great team, so
You play
yeah.
against
I mean,
Seaforth, I see.
yeah, I played against Seaforth. That was an eye-opening game for me. I mean, I jumped in game four, and oh man, that was a different series than the
Holden
Elmville
Lancic,
series for
your old
sure.
coach, or Holden Lancic's on the other side there, and
Yeah, yeah, no, it was a little different for sure. I mean, yeah, Holden, he left us, and he's having a kid, and then he comes and watches us, and then next thing you know, we're playing against him. So it's a little funny to see him on the other side and playing against him, but yeah, it's great.
that's what I love about hockey, the small town culture, right? You're playing against these guys, you're playing with the guys, you're joking around at the end of it, right?
Yeah,
You're having laughs and all that stuff, right?
yeah,
Before we wrap it up, I always ask a few questions here, and we're gonna just have some fun and all that stuff. So,
for sure.
what's your favorite rink you've ever played in? We'll start there.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Favorite rink I've ever played in. Oh man, I I don't know. I mean, I think I gotta go with, obviously. I mean, you can't go wrong with the Steve Kerr, but I mean, favorite away rink is definitely gonna be the Galt Arena Gardens,
Oh yeah,
in
the
Cambridge, the old one there. I love that rink. I played there in minor hockey too. When I played for Waterloo, we played against the Cambridge Redhawks,
yep.
minor hockey there. So I played against them. We played in that arena all the time, and I felt like every time I stepped in that arena, I had a great game. I don't know what it was. It just felt like I always found the score sheet, always put one in the back of the net there, always found a way to play my best game there. it just always seemed to go my way when every time I stepped in that rink. So
That's
uh, other than the last time I been there, I mean, I got a 10 minute and wasn't too happy. So other than the last time I played there, I mean, the all the other times I've been pretty good.
that's cool. The boards are a lot stiffer, I could tell you that.
Yes, they are. Yeah, I mean, it's an older rink, so I mean, there's not much you can do about it. I mean, there's not much you expect. I mean,
I
it's an
played
old rink. They were built
I played at a
however many years ago.
I played at a rink in Thorold back in like Niagara, and it was so old that you could see a little bit of the light coming from the outside in.
Outside.
Never forget, I was cold. Like you could, I was skating as hard as I could, and I could not get my hands warm at all. And I just,
No.
oh yeah, it was brutal. They knocked it down. Like a lot of the arenas that I played in, all these Centennial arenas and stuff are gone now. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'll never forget that rink. Walking in there, my dad just started laughing. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna have a fun time tonight." Oh yeah, and I was. The boards are stiff, like they don't flex at all, right? So when you get hit, you
No. Yeah.
hit
When
hard, right?
when you get hit,
Uh,
yeah, it hurts.
let's see, toughest opponent you've ever played against. Not team wise, but just like a player that you've always were like, man, I just want to just get under his skin and beat him for once or whatever.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a great question. Uh,
This podcast isn't going to be easy, I tell you that.
no, yeah, making it hard on me.
Yep,
I gotta
yep.
think of. I played against so many people. Uh, probably say I want to say Hodkinson off of St. Mary's.
Okay.
Ever since I left St. Mary's, he's just kind of been a pest, and that's
Yep,
kind of one guy I kind of want to go after for sure. Gotta get under his skin, that
yep.
kind of stuff. But I think back in minor hockey, I think Cornfield,
Okay.
Ryan Cornfield, he now plays for Elmira. I
Okay.
think me and him have always kind of, you know, back and forth at each other, had some beef, but you know, we always see each other now, and it's kind
So
of
are
just like we're boys. Yeah,
you guys are friends though, like off the ice and stuff, right? So you guys like,
yeah.
oh,
I
we
mean,
wait till tonight.
yeah, like back in the day, we weren't friends. Like my buddy, he played lacrosse with him, so
Yeah.
that's how I kind of knew of him. But I never really knew him back when we played minor hockey, so it was always just like you know, a beef situation there. And then, you know, I played in St. Mary's with him. He started his junior career in St. Mary's, so that's when we kind of got to know each other. And obviously, we were on the same team, so it wasn't much beef there. We kind of settled that, but yeah, not now we see each other all the time. We'll not hang out, but we'll sometimes meet up at the bar or something, and we'll be like, "Hey, man, like." Remember back in the day we were like beefing, we were pretty much fighting.
Let's
So
see
yeah, I
here.
know.
Funniest person you've ever played with. Funniest guy on a team, comedian guy.
Oh man, that's a good question. There's a lot of funny guys that I know, but I think one of the funniest guys is probably the one one from this year is going to be, and I only played 10 games with the Hawkesbury Hawks, right? But his name is Jeremy St. Louis. So he's actually Marty St. Louis' nephew.
No way.
Yeah, so that's pretty sweet. I mean, Marty St. Louis' nephew, and yeah, I was best friends with him when I was in Hawkesbury. But yeah, no, I think he was probably the funniest guy I've ever met, and he did some dumb stuff. And yeah, no, but it was awesome. And every time I watched him do something, I would just start dying laughing because I don't even care if it was funny or if it was just dumb or stupid. It would just be hilarious to me. And I do laugh at a lot of stuff. I mean, I laugh at mostly everything, but every time I watch that guy do something, it was just I was dying.
The what is your pregame meal? Do you have like a pregame um hockey players we're always superstitious. What we do, we have to do the same thing all the time. For me, it was always spaghetti. I don't know why. I always had to have spaghetti before the game or 24 hours before to get my carbs in. What was your pregame ritual, like pregame meal?
Yeah, I didn't really have anything specific. I mean, I would have some definitely some noodles and chicken and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
The odd time whenever my mom kind of cooked and had things ready for me. But sometimes it was I wouldn't even eat at all. I mean, sometimes I wouldn't eat, and then I would show up and I would go to Tim Hortons and I would grab like a chicken bacon ranch wrap or just something light just to kind of keep me going. But yeah, no, I think my superstition on the way I always stopped in at Animes. I always had to grab a banana muffin and a hot chocolate. So that was pretty much what kind of got me through there. If I didn't have anything to eat, but yeah, no, that's my superstition. I think I am a pretty superstitious guy. I think if you watch my warm ups, I'm doing the same thing pretty much every single time. Um, but yeah, no, I think yeah, I didn't really have anything specific
This
meal wise.
this will tie into the next question. What music do you listen to during your warm-ups? Do you have the same thing, or do you have a type of genre you have to listen to? Like maybe you listen to classical, like Beethoven, or you'd be one of those guys, that to listen to that odd music, or you
Yeah.
rock, or what do you listen to?
I think a little bit of everything. I mean, our team, I mean, I was on aux in our room, so I did have control of the music in our room, so I kind of threw on a bit of techno, kind of,
Music?
bass, yeah, girl music, kind of just like a bunch of remixes of
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like different stuff. But I also like to play like Eminem and Nickelback, all that kind of stuff to get the boys going. Um, but man, I do listen to a bunch of the girl music for sure. I mean, you can't go wrong
No,
with
Euro,
that. I mean,
Euro
what's
music.
what's that?
I said Euro, like European music. Do you
Yeah,
know? Do
Euro?
you know Euro music? It's like a genre of
No.
no, but it's like all like European, like bass hunter, like that style of
All
music.
right.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Not very
Yeah,
big.
no.
It was big when I was like when I was like in my college days. It was like if you went to the nightclub, yeah, it was like Euro nights and all that stuff. Yeah, so it's like techno. It's
Yeah.
exactly like techno. It's like that.
Techno? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um, let's see. I was gonna ask one more question here. What's your favorite thing to do on a bus ride? Do you get into like a zone, or like what's your because I know some of those bus rides you're going to like LaSalle or whatever, 3.5 hours long, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they get pretty long and some get pretty long, some get short, so it really depends. Um, but I think on the way home or on the way there and on the way home is a lot different. So I think on the way there, I think just dialing in. I think I kind of just sit there. I don't try to nap because when I close my eyes and I try to sleep, then it just kind of gets me sleepy. So I try to stay awake, kind of try to feel somewhat fresh. But I sit there usually and just kind of look out the window, listen to my music, and that's about it. I'm usually sitting at the back of the bus where the boys kind of play cards, so I
Yep.
am kind of in the middle of all the drama or all the stuff happening back there. So there is a lot of the bodies getting kind of thrown on me, and I'm just kind of like, man, are we serious? Because some of the boys are a lot different than what I am before the game. But I think
Yep.
on the way home, I changed to a different person. I love to get in on what the boys are doing. We either play games all together on our phone there. We hop in one big game. It's called Among Us, and we just
Okay.
kind of hop in and we kind of just play it together. So that's kind of fun there. But then we also sometimes we either watch movies or we watch games on the way home that like big games that we kind of wanted to watch. Like the one time we were watching the Canada game there from the Olympics on the
Okay.
way home on the bus. So It really depends on, kind of what's going on and what the vibe is, and then we kind of just go from there.
Sounds good. And it goes by
Yeah,
fast, man. Your career, like you go from playing triple A
yeah,
hockey, and now all of a sudden you're playing senior, and those 4 years or 5 years of junior really fly by as a player, eh?
yeah. It's unbelievable. I mean, I can't believe I'm already going into my last season, right? So it just felt like yesterday that I just started,
Yeah.
and yeah, no, it's been fun though. I've enjoyed every moment of it. It's just sad that yeah, this is my last season, and I'm gonna make the most of it.
Do you have a favorite memory before we let you go?
Favorite memory?
Growing up
Uh,
in hockey, could be when you were 5 years old or whatever.
so yeah,
Yeah.
I think. Oh man, I think I gotta go with the U18 season in Waterloo. I think that's probably my favorite memory of all time. I think that was my most favorite year of hockey. I think that was probably, the most fun I've ever had playing
Yep.
hockey. I mean, I love playing hockey and I love the team, but I think year was just so much fun, and I enjoyed every single moment I was there. Probably because we were a really good team and we were winning, but also just the guys in the room too. I think we were kind of a brotherhood in there. And
Yep.
yeah, I think that's kind of my favorite memory. But obviously, I mean, my biggest favorite memory would be, that season and then just ending it off being drafted by London.
That's pretty cool. Well,
Yeah,
Colt, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll stop into Animes one of these times. You just
Yeah,
gonna get my usual grilled cheese and soup and a ginger ale and stuff. They got
yeah.
and
I'll
everyone.
I'll serve you. Don't worry, I'll be there.
You see these guys getting this chicken, what the chicken or something like that, the
Roasted
roasted.
chicken, roasted chicken. Yeah, it's good stuff. Everyone comes in for it, so you got to maybe one day you got to stop in and try it.
I'll have to go. Maybe I'll have to bring the other half there of mine, and we'll have to go.
Yeah,
You know?
bring her in and come try some chicken. Yeah, I mean we're
Yeah,
most famous for it, so you got to give her a try one day.
yeah. Animes, everybody. If you're ever in the area north of Waterloo, just go stop into Animes, and you'll have the honestly the best lunch. I always stop in there when I can on my way through work and stuff. So check it out,
Oh
man.
yeah, it's
Thanks a lot for
great.
this, buddy. I really appreciate it, eh?
Yeah, thanks Kyle for the time, and thanks for
No
doing
problem.
this.
And then everybody subscribe. You could go listen to it on YouTube. It'll be uploaded on Spotify, podcasts on Apple. So just check it out. You can listen to it, watch us, whatever. But anyways, thanks everybody for listening to the Late Shift Sports Show, formerly called the Rough Ice Podcast. And stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks everybody.